Hello everyone, I'm here to present part 1 of my research paper for Dr. Fortenberry's communication class in Mississippi College, and my paper is about music and how it communicates to us and how we can communicate through music, and you can see the entire paper at the end of this presentation. Music Communication Part 1. Though being alone with one's thought occasionally is very beneficial, there is an innate need in mankind to be able to create, communicate, and speak with someone outside of themselves. Even the extremely shy, the introverted, or the most independent person finds himself at one time or another craving contact with some means of expression outside of their own thoughts. Not only do we as human beings desire this, but it is an inbuilt need in order to have a sense of fulfillment in our lives. I propose that there is a medium by which we can all communicate with or without words, that being music. Music communicates from and to the heart of mankind. It transcends language, culture, creed, sex, race, age, and intellect. It speaks directly to the soul. Music has existed from the beginning of time, which from my perspective, and to set a premise for this writing, would be the creation of the earth and the heavens. We find the recounting of the creation in the book of Genesis, penned by Moses in the Holy Bible. Then the prophet Ezekiel tells us how there was music in heaven at its inception. This passage refers to Lucifer before his fall. In Ezekiel 28:13 it says, "Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created." John the Revelator tells us that there will be instrumental and verbal music at the end of time and into eternity. In Revelations 5:8-9, he says, "And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sang a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. And thou hast made us unto God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth." We can see then how we are automatically drawn to music, albeit every individual to diverse types or genres. This can be noted in a simplest way, like an unsolicited toe tap, or even the purposeful outburst into song when we hear a favorite tune, or the need of a handkerchief when we hear an opera singer convey an entire story in song in a foreign language, and we have no idea what they're saying, but the music communicates to our heart and soul. How music communicates. The nonverbal message. Music of itself does not have to have words to be considered music. It is something used to express the rhythm of the soul. Tribal dance rituals with drums only was a form of music to them. With the introduction of hundreds of musical instruments over the years, music has become more refined. Composers have written intricate pieces, calling them sonatas, concertos, symphonies, and cantatas, and all without lyrics. Then on the other side of the spectrum, you may have a simple family reunion where they are playing the fiddle, the banjos, the guitar, the spoons, and that is also music. Just because a particular type of music is not what we prefer does not mean that it is not music, nor does it negate the fact that the musicians are very talented and skilled in their craft. The first musical notations were etched into stone called cuneiforms and were put into print only in the 1400s after the invention of Gutenberg's printing press. How marvelous was that? Prior to this, people would have to use their memories to recall a melody or it would be lost. In our day and age, those that do not read music or have no music theory knowledge would have to try to play a song that they have heard by memory also, or we might say by ear. In doing this with instrumentals or classical pieces, some of the beautiful nuances can be missed. Yet even still, the reason that they are even attempting to replicate it is because it has spoken to them personally and they want to share it with others. The verbal message of music. A musical piece with lyrics can be converted from a poem or a written story to a song, or the words can be specifically written as a song. Music with lyrics will send a message whether the intended one or not. These messages can run the gamut from politics to culture to religion, and the list goes on. Whatever the intention or the agenda of the author is what will be conveyed in their work. It could be totally benign, it could be uplifting, it could be healing, or it could be atrocious and toxic. Often lyrics are written with more than one meaning or with one intention in mind, but the hearer will interpret the words in a different way. Metaphors are often used, and sometimes the messages can be awful to some people's standards, and they can be masked by the catchy tune and the melodies of the instrumentation. People can catch themselves humming a tune, humming a song, and not even know that the words are horrific. This, of course, is the power of music, and it is the ability that it has to carry us away and draw people in without being aware of what the message really might be that they're conveying. The subliminal message, if you will. Music can be used for learning and therapy. Music is often used to assist in teaching those with learning disorders. It allows many to communicate or understand, whereas otherwise they would not be able to. People may have been born with a particular disability, or they might find themselves disabled due to no fault of their own. There may be those that have gone through a trauma in their lives that have left them unable to cope or communicate. It is often used to assist with the elderly that have dementia or Alzheimer's or even just depression. Music is a wonderful tool to draw out the best in everyone. I personally have a cousin who's deceased now. She lived to be 35 years old. She could not walk or talk or do anything at all for herself. She just lay on the bed like an infant, if you will. But when you played a beautiful, soothing, melodic piece of music, she would just smile from ear to ear, and she would try to sway to the rhythm. She would try to react. She would react to that music. And so music can communicate, and it can bring even the crustiest person out of their shell. 20th century music genres. There is a flavor for everyone's palate. The scope of musical choices is endless. Just to name a few: classical, contemporary classical, folk, bluegrass, blues, country, jazz, rock and roll, heavy metal, disco, hip-hop, soul, gospel, and the list goes on. Every new genre of music comes with its own flair, style, characteristics, and message. They all speak to a different audience of different ages and cultures, but they all relate to the listeners in some way. Music continues to evolve and had continued to evolve in the 20th century, even till now. But those who've experienced the 1900s firsthand, that would be me, they will often hang on to many of their favorite tunes from the past, like a warm blanket or an old friend. Change is often difficult, though the world around us is constantly changing, including music. It is in constant flux. Often we are reluctant to change. Music identifies. Music can be the very thing that identifies us, and this in turn allows us to identify with others. Many things can be revealed about us by the genre of music we choose to listen to. Though it may be subtle, many views can be portrayed through a song. Prejudices, culture, sensuality, morality or lack thereof. Our whole life story might be seen through what music we allow to communicate to us by our own choosing. Have you ever gotten to someone's vehicle and the music station will begin to play a certain genre of music, and you will think to yourself, I never knew that about this person, or that explains a lot. One can be labeled or even nicknamed because of the music choices that they have. It can be a personal identifier, and it can also identify the culture of an entire generation. You can mention the name of a song and someone might say, now you're telling your age, though it's not always the case. Personal taste in music is extraordinarily vast. Music can transport us. Music can incite emotions within us, whether for joy or sadness, love, hate, peace, or fear. The list is endless. Music can be something that invokes memories. We can remember a place, sight, sound, smell, person, or even an era just by hearing a tune that meant something to us at one time. It is a powerful enough tool to transport us to a faraway place in our imaginations to escape the present. In a recent rerun of an interview that was aired in 2014 that I heard of Dan Rather and the country music artist Charlie Daniels, he asked if he had a favorite song. He replied that he liked them all, but when he sings Carolina, I Remember You, it always means a lot to him because it reminds him of his childhood home. He said, quote, I can visualize the trees, the river, the road, the 2-lane blacktop, the snowflakes as big as goose feathers, the moon the color of new-made country butter, and the night sky like diamonds against blue velvet, from horizon to horizon. End quote. This is the power of music. Conclusion. No matter where we hail from or where we are going in our lives, music will be with us because we carry it within us. We are the authors, the composers, the musicians, and the listener. Even if you think someone cannot carry a tune in a bucket, and I've heard some of those, we still have music within us, and they can be ministered to through music. Music is a gift that is from our Creator, and in turn should be used to worship Him. In one of David's many writings of songs and praises in Psalms 33, 1 through 4 in the Holy Bible, he states, Rejoice in the Lord, O you righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise the Lord with the harp, sing unto Him with the psaltery and the instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto Him a new song, praise skillfully and play skillfully with a loud noise, for the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. Colossians 1:16 says, For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and in earth, visible and invisible, whether by thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. The gifts and talents that we have been given, should be used to the good of others and to glorify the one who gave them to us. We must never take for granted this beautiful avenue of communication that we have been given. Music speaks from and to the heart and soul of mankind. That's the end. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll stay tuned for part 2 and part 3 of this research paper. Have a great day.